Rich, Matt, you've made it to the Forged in Fire final. So far, we've asked you to design and produce a weapon of your own choosing. To claim the Forged in Fire crown, you must design and forge our mystery weapon, one of the most famous and revered weapons from history. The Japanese Katana. The katana is the traditional weapon of the samurai, the noble class of warriors in feudal Japan since around 800 AD. The katana was formed from hundreds of thin layers of the purest steel available. The quicker draw of the sword was well suited to combat where life versus death depended on the weapon you carried into battle. Over the centuries, the katana has taken on many mythical properties in legend and culture, from an ability to slice through other swords to splitting a hair. And it is the sword of choice for characters in mega hits like Kill Bill and The Walking Dead. Good luck, gentlemen. We'll see you in 5 days.
My name is Rich Greenwood. By day, I work on swimming pools, and at night, I'm a bladesmith. I'm absolutely amazed that I made it this far. At every stage of the competition, I thought, this is it. I'm going home with 5 days. I think I can actually prove my worth. I've got no power hammers, no presses. Everything is by hand. My goal is to get the blade to where I can quench it.
So what I'm doing here is I'm breaking all the sharp edges, because you gotta need sharp edges. You got a lot better chance of cracking something. This is where it all happens. It'll kill me or it'll make me. Here we go. You. About 4 seconds into the quench, I heard a loud tick. I knew that was it. It was all over. Several cracks along the tip. I just got the blade way too hot before I quenched it. And when you've got too hot a blade and you throw it in cooler water, it tends to crack. I'm not gonna say all is lost just yet. I'm gonna bust my ass and I'm gonna try and get something made that I'm proud of in the end. This is my final shot to stay in the competition. This blade doesn't survive, I'm out. Getting ready? I'm quenching now.
My name is Matthew Parkinson. I've been a blacksmith for 15 years. I'm gonna go for a full hardened blade. So strong and so fine-grained, it should outperform anything else that anybody can put on the table. That's ready for heat treating. I'm gonna slide my blade down there, about 600 degrees. I'm just gonna bring it up and let it cool. I'm doing this for my son. I'm doing this so that he can be proud of me.
See what Daddy's doing? He's setting the stone right now.
Nice. I like this sword a lot. I'm still a little apprehensive about what the judges are going to be looking for. I'm just going to cut a couple water balls, make sure the geometry is good. That was a successful test cut. This is a really good sword.
To measure how your blades stand up against flesh, Doug will cut through these fish.
Rich, yours is up. Let's put it to the test.
Nice.
It will cut.
Yes, it will.
It felt good in the slice. Good. But the recovery was a little heavier, but it still felt like it'll give me a close shave. Good job. Okay, Matt, you're up next. Are you ready?
Yep. It doesn't cut. And I'm a little confused by that. I don't know why it didn't cut.
It's got a very good feel to it. It's very light. It's got a very nice balance to it. And it'll cut. Now for the kill test. In this, we have a ballistics dummy that pretty much simulates the human form, organs, and tissues. The katana traditionally has a razor-sharp edge. That allows me to find the gaps in between the armor. I'm gonna try that with your blade to see how well it does. Rich, you're up first. Let's take a look at the damage. Oh. The thrust and the slice went all the way into the internal organs in here. And the kill shot went deep all the way into the liver. I think on the kill test, this will kill. Okay, Matt, you're up. Definitely through the laceration, he's disemboweled here. A nice big puncture in here. That definitely will get the liver. I think it's past the kill test.
You've both obviously brought deadly implements of war here. But now, it's time to lock and load, gentlemen, because for the strength test, we're leaving the forge, and we're heading to the gun range.
What?
All right, gentlemen, this is the final test for the Forged in Fire Championship. It's the strength test. Your weapons will be tested on their ability to split a bullet. Your swords are gonna be locked into a vise. Then we're gonna fire a bullet at your blade. All right, Matt, you ready?
Break it.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Oh, yes! Yes!
Well, Matt, your sword split a bullet. There's no damage on the edge at all. Held up extremely well. That is a real, true sign of your craftsmanship.
Thank you.
Very well done. All right, Rich, you're up next.
When I look at him set the gun up and get ready to shoot that blade, there's a little bit of doubt in the back of my mind thinking it may not survive this.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Nice!
Oh, yeah! Sweet.
Wow.
That is
Definitely got a
outrageous.
split there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a split.
I like
That
it.
blade didn't even move.
It splits the bullet. I couldn't have been happier.
There's no mark on the blade at all. Held up perfectly. No chipping.
Gotta like
Everything
that.
looks great.
Thank you.
Congratulations, gentlemen. You should be proud of the work that you've done, which only makes the judge's decision that much harder. We'll see you back at the forge. Matt, Rich, in just 5 days, you have both forged elegant and lethal Japanese katanas. But in this competition, there can only be one winner of $10,000. Matt, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Congratulations.
Good job, dude.
Rich, you did not make the cut.
I wish you had done a little bit more finish work. You let the handle get a little bit skinny. And it was almost the same proportions on each side, so I know you ran into a time constraint, but it did split a bullet, and that's truly something to be proud of.
I feel a little disappointed, but the better bladesmith won.
Well, Matt, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion. You're gonna claim a $10,000 check. How do you feel?
This is awesome.
Your blade is beautiful. Not only is it beautiful, but it's fast. Cuts so cleanly through the fish. And on the ballistic dummies, I just disemboweled it for the kill test. Great job.
Blade aside, I was really impressed with your handle setup. Symmetrically, it was correct. We get good control, good grip on it. Very nicely done.
This is such a rush. I want to drive home and kiss my son. I'm the Forged in Fire champion.
Ryu, Jonathan, you made it through to the final round. So far, you've designed and presented a weapon in your own styles. Now, we're gonna send you back to your home forges where you will make one of the most iconic weapons from history. The Viking Battle Axe. The Viking Battle Axe was a brutal killing weapon that played a significant role throughout history. Viking warriors were mostly farmers, so when going off the fight, they would pick the tool they had close at hand, which was often a wood-cutting axe. When later models took on shapes more convenient to the fighting man, the battle axe was born. The haft was made of wood, and the curved head allowed the axe to be used to hook an opponent's ankle, throwing him off balance and onto the ground, positioning the Viking to go in for the kill with the large, razor-sharp cutting edge. The battle axe has a long and colorful association with fantasy film and literature, being the weapon of choice for the dwarves in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, as well as for the players of fantasy computer games such as World of Warcraft. Good luck, gentlemen.
I'm Jonathan Porter, and I am a farrier, the fancy word for a horseshoer, as well as a full-time bladesmith. I'm doing a multiple-layer pattern steel battle axe. The Vikings, they used a lot of multi-layered steel. Overall, this will be one sturdy axe. I am super pumped about this battle axe. The competition is definitely affecting me. I don't know why I don't just come in here and forge like I always do, but this contest sort of just messes me up. Man! I just wasn't paying attention. I took my eye off it and I cooked it. It's done. I gotta start over. Unbelievable! I forged another axe head, and this time the blade held together. I think the judges are gonna be impressed with the axe in general. We're buttoned up with a really nice top-notch handle with leather wraps to go along with the head that we've worked so hard for. It's an end result that I think looks good and I'm proud of. So no matter what they think, I'm proud of what I'm gonna put in front of them this round.
My name is Ryu Lim. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I'm an iron worker and I make blades for a living. The studio shop had everything, man. I got the bare bones, only the basics. My forge is basically a cast iron pot with a hole drilled in the bottom where I attached a black pipe, and on that black pipe, I attached a hair dryer. Using the hair dryer, I introduce more oxygen, and the more oxygen you put it, the hotter it gets. I'm gonna stretch out the metal, and I'm gonna wrap it around the pipe to make an eye for the handle. I really have no heat because it's so big it doesn't fit in my forge. I had to make some adjustments to remedy that. When you're working with high-powered power tools, you gotta remember safety first. Gotta wear some eye protection and respirator. The way it's going right now, I'm not getting enough heat. I'm losing a lot of heat very quickly, so I might start over or make a new forge. The first forge wasn't working because it was too small. So I added a satellite dish around it. So I'll be able to add more coal and make a bigger fire. It's looking good right now. I could move on to the fun part.
What is this?
He's forging an axe. A Viking axe. The firefighters came, and unfortunately I was delayed an hour.
Your biggest thing that we got to deal with is the fact that you're too close to the building.
I had to move the forge and reposition everything. Hopefully it doesn't affect me too much towards the end. I don't have electric saws. I'm gonna have to carve this down. I spent the last hour pounding in the handle at the same time making it. It was tough, but I'm just really curious what the judges are gonna say, really. A battle axe doesn't have to be smooth and shiny. It just has to work. It doesn't have to be pretty to split skulls.
To test the lethality of your axe, I will strike this side of beef here and see what kind of damage it does. Jonathan, you're up first.
I'm ready.
your edge held. It crushed to 3 bones. It will kill.
Yes, it will.
For the next test, I'm gonna pass it over to our European historical weapons expert, Dave.
Thanks, Doug. Gentlemen, the Viking axe was designed to create the maximum amount of carnage on the battlefield. To test it, in a chop test, I'm gonna take 5 blows against this hardened panel of oak. Now, oak was the common building material of the time, and this was the breaching tool of the time.
Ready.
All right. I don't know if I can crawl through that, but it seemed to do the job. That round handle, though, boy, it wants to twist in your hand. Bit of an issue. And overall, it felt pretty good.
Ryu, you're up next. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
The handle's a little slippery, so first couple of tries, it was slipping off. I had to make sure that it didn't go fly off my hand. You cut about 3 and into the 4th bone. This, I believe, is a killer. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Dave?
My axe may not be pretty, but it can definitely split some skulls.
Well, it felt pretty good. My hand could travel on that handle, whereas with that leather wrap, I couldn't really move my hand while I was swinging. Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, your weapons have performed well thus far, but it's not over yet. We're gonna see just how much punishment your weapons can take in our strength test. Doug?
For the strength test, your axis will be placed on the specially designed impact device. The arm is set to deliver maximum force at the point of impact. We will deliver 3 strikes on the shield. That will give us a good indication of how much pressure your axe can take. Let's see if your weapon will survive this test. Jonathan, let's test it. 3, 2, 1, engaging. 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 I don't see any clear indentations on your edge. A little indentation on the shield. Your half seems to have held. Good job.
Thank you.
Ryu, you're next. 3, 2, 1, engaging. Engaging. That split the shield in half and all the way through. Edge held. Half is still secure. Good job.
You have both done yourselves proud as bladesmiths. However, in this competition, there can only be one winner. Ryu. You are the Forged in Fire champion. Congratulations.
Good job, buddy. Good job, man.
Jonathan, your weapon did not make the cut. Please surrender your weapon.
Yeah, I'm totally proud of the work that I've done. I mean, I turned in a laminated Viking Battle Axe, so I'm not by any means going home because I didn't do enough. In this case, Ryu just did a better job.
Feel very proud right now. I worked really hard for this. I guess it paid off.
If the stress level got to you in the first challenge, you were able to pull it together. I mean, you got a few issues, but you brought a true weapon you should definitely be proud of.
Thank you, sir. I put my soul into forging that axe. I gave it everything I had. And now I walk out as a champion.
Pete, Dave, congratulations. You made it through to the final round. To be crowned the Forged in Fire champion, you must forge an iconic blade from history. It's time to reveal what that weapon will be.
Holy crap.
The Crusader Sword. Dating back to the Middle Ages, the Crusader Sword was the European knights' weapon of choice as they conquered the Holy Land. This single-handed, medium-length longsword also contained a double edge that tapered at the end, making it the ideal weapon for piercing the emerging plate armor that was found on most battlefields. The most famous Crusader Sword was the legendary Excalibur, wielded by King Arthur. Crusader Sword was also carried by the Knights Templar, who were highlighted in films like Kingdom of Heaven and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Good luck. We will see you in 5 days.
My name is Peter Burt. The first sword that I made, I gave to my high school girlfriend. She was not very excited about it. My strategy here is to make a Damascus billet, which is a laminated bar made up of multiple layers of steel. And a jelly roll is a specific pattern in Damascus where you actually roll the steel up on itself, kind of like a cinnamon bun. Pretty tight. The jelly roll has reached the point that I need to get it into the hammer to squeeze it down on itself. Looks pretty clean along the edges now, so we're gonna proceed to forging this out. Okay. I got plenty of width. That's nice and tight. I feel great about what I've made. And if Dave beats it, that means he's brought something incredible.
I'm Dave Roeder. When I was 16, I followed the sound of an anvil and I met a man that was forging a knife. Got to watch it being done, and I've been making knives ever since.
I want to make sure that this is going to perform without fail. Everything's good there.
I'm gonna put the blade in, the oil, and I'm gonna pull it out just enough for it to flash. Anytime that thing got hot in the forge, it would warp. I could literally watch it bend. This is called a 3-pin straightening method. I'm gonna either straighten this blade or I'm gonna snap it. I really don't like doing this.
So luckily, the blade didn't break in the vise. I was able to fix the warp. Now, I gotta get this sword finished.
The handle is walnut, and my overlay is a leather band.
I decided to put inside the handle a riser underneath the leather. It's pleasing to the eye, and it helps with the grip.
Confidence level is pretty high. I'm really pleased with the outcome of this. I got a great chance at this in the end with the judges.
While the Crusader Sword was quite powerful and effective on foot and sword-to-sword combat, there was a method of delivery that made it even more destructive. From horseback. That rider is going to use your weapons to attack that ballistics gel torso that's wearing a great helm, gorget, and tunic.
Okay.
I suggest we get out of the way.
I'm very nervous. Full gallop on horseback. That's a lot of power to put into a sword.
Dave, you're up first. Are you ready?
I ain't gonna get any readier.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Nice hit.
That is absolutely awesome.
Pete, your sword's up next.
Let's see some blood. I feel great that my sword held up well, but it didn't cut through the cloth armor.
To assess the damage and perform the kill test, I'm gonna hand you over to Doug.
Okay, Dave. It's got some weight to it.
A Crusader sword should feel a bit heavy in the hand.
Slashing feels good. Let's see if it'll cut.
Okay.
Oh. You can see it points like a spear. Beautiful thrusting capability. It's a killer. Pete? So I'm now testing for the thrusting with length. It's got a lot of weight to it. Let's see what it's gonna do on the kill test.
Let's see.
It will kill.
All right, gentlemen, that concludes the kill test. Now we're gonna head back to the forge where we are going to perform the strength test.
Gentlemen, a sword in combat went through extreme stresses. So to test this, I'm gonna take 5 blows against these femurs and see how far through we can get with each of your weapons.
Okay.
Pete, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. And while I was chopping this ring up here, pretty rough on the hand.
I'm just happy that my sword is still in one piece at the end of this.
Got about halfway through that bone, just blowing pieces off of it. And still has an edge.
Good.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Dave, you're up next. You ready?
Sure.
Lot of stress in that blade.
No kidding.
You can see the edge folded over.
Yeah.
Sort of bent right around that point of impact right there. You can see we chopped right through this bone. About 3 blows to crack that open. Well done.
You've both been outstanding competitors through 3 rounds of competition. But there can only be one Forged in Fire champion. Jay?
Oh, Pete, that Damascus blade was beautiful. I mean, getting all those welds folded together, grinding that all evenly, heat treating it the way you did, it stood up to all the tests. You did a wonderful job on that piece of steel.
I had a couple of issues with the way your handle was put together with that spacer. The spacer really started chewing into my hand. I just couldn't get a good grip up around the top of this sword. That's an issue.
Comments for Dave?
Well, Dave, even though the overall look of your sword and the design of your handle was very appealing, obviously it was a heat treatment issue. During the tests, your blade folded over, and that really bit you in the testing.
Dave, I love the design of your blade. Very clean lines. Your handle felt very good in the hand. It's sharp, it thrust well, but in the end, it failed when we started slicing the bones.
Pete, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Congratulations.
Dave, your sword felt great in the hand, but when I used it on those bones, boy, it just bent right over the top. And a heat treat issue like that, we just can't let that through.
Dave, you did an outstanding job. Please surrender your weapon.
The judge's decision was what it was, and if I can't change it, then why worry about it?
Pete, congratulations. You're receiving a check for $10,000.
That's pretty nice.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel really good. I think my wife, when we get to Hawaii, we're gonna lie back and relax. She's had to put up with me being gone for this. She deserves it.
Mareko, Jamie, congratulations. You guys have made it through to the final round. And you're both one step closer to receiving a check for $10,000. When you showed up here, you took a ball bearing and you forged that into a signature blade. But now, you will work on a blade of our choosing. One of the most famous weapons from history. The Roman Gladius. The word gladius means sword in Latin. It was also adopted as the name for those who would fight each other to the death for the entertainment of the imperial crowds, as depicted in the Hollywood blockbuster Gladiator. The gladius was the primary weapon of the Roman legionary, with a fearsome V-shaped tip for thrusting and stabbing and a double razor-sharp edge for slashing and slicing. Originally a Spanish weapon, the Romans were so impressed by its simple design and lethal effectiveness, they adopted it as their own and used it to help them establish one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. Good luck, bladesmiths. We will see you in 5 days.
Good luck. You too.
My name's Marco Malamasi. After working in restaurants as a line cook for 6 or 7 years, I quit my job to take on making knives, and I've been happy ever since. My plan is to start forging the Damascus for all my fittings as well as for the blade. I started with 27 layers of steel. Now they're all one solid bar. I'm gonna cut it into pieces, restack them on top of each other, multiplying that layer count.
This will make the blade as strong as it can be.
I'm gonna do this one more time after this to give myself around 680 layers. I'm gonna honor the history of this weapon, but I am definitely gonna put a few twists on it myself based on my experience with knives. The blade is 21.5 inches long, and it takes a lot of grinding. It's a cool blade profile. You can see all the different layers, approximately 675 different layers in here. Now I'm gonna start working on the handle material. All my handle components, they all need to be drilled and have these pins made for them so that they come together as one solid construction of the handle. I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed with this assembly. The handle was a bit of an ambitious build, but I'm too far along to turn back, so I gotta make it happen.
My name is Jamie Lundell. Years ago, I got into medieval reenacting, so a lot of things that I create have to do with history.
Into the fire it goes, and we gotta crank some heat.
I'm going for just over 100 layers. That's gonna give me a nice, bold pattern that's gonna be really eye-catching and stand out to the judges. And I really feel like I gotta kick my game up.
It's just about time to cut it up into 4 pieces and restack it, and that'll give me my 108 layers of steel.
I'm really happy with how it's looking so far.
Time to get this guy into heat treat.
This is where things can go wrong. I just need to make sure that I take my time, go slowly, just to make sure that I get the heat treat right.
It had a crazy warp when I came out of the heat treat.
The fact that my blade took a warp pisses me off. I'm levering on the blade, pushing down, and that warp is just sticking.
It's got a little wibble to its wobble.
If I had enough time, I would go through another heat treating cycle, but my time is limited. I just gotta make up for that one flaw by going to the 9s with everything else. It's time to start working on the handle. I'm gonna add some bronze to the mix, olive wood, and buffalo horn. It's gonna look nice.
For the slice test, I will take your weapon and slash through branches, vines, and sugarcane. So different layers, different consistencies. Jamie, you're up first. Are you ready?
I am.
Definitely a good impact weapon. Only thing was, at the end, as you're doing more shots, it starts to rotate with a very rounded handle, but it is sharp. And for this test, it can cut. Mareko, you're up next. You ready?
I'm ready.
Very light on the hand, very sharp. A lot of the sugar canes have very clean cuts despite being surrounded by these branches. The handle construction felt secure in my hand. It will cut. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Now it's time for the kill test. To test the lethality of your weapon, I will slash, cut, and stab this ballistics dummy that is dressed like a gladiator in the Roman era. Jamie, you're up. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Well, that lacerated all the way through to the bone, destroyed the clavicle completely. Disemboweled here, thrust went through, and that's definitely a kill shot all the way into the spine. This will kill. Good job.
Thank you.
Mareko, you're next. You ready?
I'm ready.
That's all the way through. Disemboweled on that pass. Throat all the way to the spine. It will kill. Good job.
Thank you.
Now, to test the strength of your weapon, your Gladius will be placed on this dynamic testing rig. This rig is calibrated to deliver a strong blow similar to a Roman legionnaire from his era. Your Gladius will strike our Gladius that is made of 1055 high-carbon steel 3 times, or until one of the blades break. Jamie, your Gladius is already loaded into this rig. Are you ready?
I am.
In 3, 2, 1, engage! 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 Well, your edge held all the way through. Little indentations there, nothing major. This crushed right through the sword, so this would have broken the soldier's arm. That's a strong sword. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, Mareko, you're up.
I'm ready. My biggest fear is that it's gonna make contact and it's just gonna break.
In 3, 2, 1, engage! Engage! 3, 2, 1, engage! It held up. More scratches to the blade. That is a strong blade, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Jamie, Mareko, there can only be one champion. Jamie, you are the Forged Empire champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mareko, your blade did not make the cut. Please surrender your weapon.
Definitely sucks, but it feels really good to have had a chance to challenge myself and to step outside my comfort zone and do a good job at it.
Jamie, congratulations. You'll be receiving a check for $10,000.
Thank you.
Do you feel like fortune favored the bold?
I do. I feel like I took some chances, and those decisions helped me win this competition.
For me, it's all about the detail, the choice of materials, the way you laid it out, which is really, really nice work.
Thank you. I feel good. It's $10,000. Definitely helped me out. Maybe might find some time for a little vacation somewhere here or there. We'll see. We'll see.